Sure. Here is the full English translation of your story. At an abandoned train station on the outskirts of the city, there was an old safety deposit box marked with the number 9. No one knew who owned it, but it had been tightly sealed for over 30 years. One rainy evening, a young man named Sammy arrived, carrying a strangely shaped key and a yellow note that read, "Open it before midnight, or all the doors will open." Sammy had no idea how the letter arrived in the mail, nor who had sent the key, but his curiosity got the better of him. He headed to the station, slipped through the fences, and found the box covered in dust and rust. He inserted the key and heard a faint clicking sound. Then the box slowly creaked open. Inside, there was nothing physical. Instead, dark shadows burst out and began creeping through the surrounding darkness. Then a voice whispered in his ear, "You have freed them. Now, who will free you?" Sammy ran out of the station, but the shadows were faster. Every time he looked behind him, all he could see were glowing eyes in the dark and footsteps approaching without a visible source. He reached his apartment, gasping for air, locked the door, and turned on the lights, but the power went out instantly. In the darkness, the whispers began. "Sammy, why did you open the door? Do you know who we were?" Each of us was a forgotten story, and now it's time to be told. His phone screen lit up on its own, showing a map of an unknown location, W. With the countdown ticking, 3:59, 3:58, 3:57. At that moment, Sammy realized one thing. He wasn't the one who chose to open the box had chosen him. Sammy fixed his eyes on the phone screen, where the map kept flashing, pointing to a place deep in the forest outside the city. Time was running out, and the countdown neared 0. He had no choice but to follow the signs. He drove through the rain-soaked darkness, and the closer he got to the location, the weaker his phone's signal became. But the pounding in his head grew stronger, as if something inside him already knew the way. He arrived in an old cabin surrounded by dense trees. The door was open, as if it had been waiting for him. Inside, he found a mirror covered with a black cloth. When he pulled the cloth away, he didn't see his reflection. Instead, he saw himself, but dressed differently, standing in another world, staring straight at him. And then he spoke. "I was the one who opened the box the first time, and now it's your turn to close it before it's too late." Sammy stared into the mirror. The figure that looked exactly like him stood in a place of crumbling buildings and a red sky, as if in another dimension. The reflection said, "When I opened the box 30 years ago, I didn't know I would be trapped here. The box isn't a container, it's a gateway, and we became its guardians." Sammy felt a weight in his body, as though something was pulling him through the glass. If you don't close the gate before tea, the countdown ends, everything on the other side will cross over, and the real world will be sealed instead. Suddenly, the same key Sammy had used appeared in his pocket again, now warm and glowing, as if it were alive. His reflection reached out a hand through the glass and whispered, "Choose. Either close the box and take my place, or leave it open and face the consequences." The phone countdown flashed, 00:01, midnight, and everything went dark.